Anyway, let's go straight into British American Tobacco, which is the world's second largest quoted tobacco group. It was created from the merger of Rembrandt, Rothmans International and Imperial Tobacco under the leadership of Anton Rupert. It has a market cap of 1 trillion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 21.2 and a dividend yield of 2.8%. A market cap of 1 trillion rand. Does that make it the largest company on the JSE?
It is the largest company. Because it's got so many shareholders outside of South Africa, it is weighted slightly differently. So it's not in the top 40, it's not weighted as big as it should be, but still contributes a very large amount to that top 40. Obviously when it's trading, it moves the market quite considerably, especially with the volumes that it trades as well.
Let's talk here about the Rand hedge quality and whether that is why we are seeing this stock trading at all-time highs behind us.
You know, it's trading at all-time highs because in London, where most of its shares are in fact listed, it is seen as one of those global growth stocks that has enormous pricing power, that is selling branded goods to people in emerging countries that are desperate for aspirational kind of purchases. So those 4 global growth brands of theirs, you know, Pall Mall, Lucky Strike and the likes, they really are succeeding at getting people that are smokers in these other countries to kind of trade up, even though prices of cigarettes have been rising because of taxes and because of competitive issues and so on. Having said that, I mean, the Rand hedge qualities are there insofar as that's its center of gravity. It's selling cigarettes largely priced in dollars, sort of more or less. It's consolidating its numbers in pounds, and it's therefore got its kind of price there, and then it trades at its price here as a function of the Rand pound exchange rate.
Let's get your thoughts on why we're seeing BAT trading at all-time highs. Do you concur with Paul on this front?
Well, definitely on the Rand hedge quality, people have been looking for protection. And then on a world scale, they also see British American Tobacco as quite defensive. It's got its growth potential. It's a sticky product, so you don't get people to stop in smoking that easily. So it's consistently good growth. And over the last 10 or 15 years, you know, they've got a target of growth in the high single digits, so 9% real growth every single year, and they've delivered it over the last 10 years. So people are happy to hold it in their portfolios all the time.
Let's just go back to the nature of the consumer within the British American Tobacco stable. It is that addictive quality that you were referring to, in that there's a sticky nature of those clients. It's got to be a world-class business model to have your clients addicted to you.
Look, this is difficult for me because I've been saying this is a big sell and you shouldn't be in this stock. But let's unpack the business. As you are alluding to, there are trends within the different regions. They own a 42% stake of a business in America called Reynolds American, whose sales and profits are going down because in America, you know, people are a little bit wealthier, they're slightly better educated, and therefore they're slowing down and not smoking so much. Young people are smoking less now than they used to. That's because it's no longer perceived as cool. It's not so easy to get access to cigarettes. So the target market is getting slightly older every year, except for the people that are dying, okay? In countries like Indonesia and Malaysia and Vietnam and Zambia and Nigeria and all that kind of places, and Colombia, and I'm giving you a quick 80 tour here, those areas, cigarettes is still rising, consumption rising, particularly amongst men. The women, you'll be happy to know, not so stupid, don't smoke so much.
Talk to us about the regulatory aspects, specifically in Nigeria. Are they not looking at a ban potentially on smoking?
I don't think it'll come through as a full ban, but they're facing these type of headwinds in all different sectors. In Australia, they've had a lot. They've got in emerging markets as well. So it's going to be under pressure, and their margins are going to be under pressure all the time. That's why some people stayed away from British American Tobacco. But the thing is, every time you look at their numbers are getting better and better and better. And besides quite a big pullback in growth out of the States, their numbers are still growing, and their margins are getting bigger and bigger. So sticky and a good business.
Sorry, Paul, you can't fight the story apparently. Look at the share price action and you must be sorry that you didn't invest.
Well, I'm very sorry that we are short in some instances. We were short the stock, we got blown out of it as it went higher.
Rob, would you ever in your wildest dreams have gone short BAT? Let me just get you on record here. Hang on a minute. Well, would you have gone short?
Well, I think locally you have to take a look at the Rand as well, and as a Rand hedge, you'd battle have to go short on BHP. I'm not sorry, on
British American
Tobacco, because it's just such a perfect Rand hedge at the moment.
Just wanted him on record.
Yeah, look, in pounds in America, it's actually been going down the last kind of month and a half.
If you say so.
And that's because emerging markets currently, as you noticed, have sort of been given a bit of a punch in the face. The reason it's held up at like 560 Rand a share, all-time high in South Africa, is because of the weakening of the Rand. So if your theory is that the Rand's a little oversold and that the emerging market thing is going to kind of remain a little bit out of favor for a while.
I take it that is your theory.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was quite struck by what Mark Wilkes from GD247.com said, is that it's all very well to go short something which has got a major uptrend, but it's generally better to wait for them to roll over, right? Don't stand in front of the train, as they say in trading terms, or try and catch the air balloon or falling piano or whatever it is. So we've not done well being short this thing. I'm disinclined to go short it, but I'm still not a buyer.
Would you be a buyer at all-time highs? Because that's the big question.
I wouldn't be a buyer here. I think that the valuations are stretched. It's a good stock and you can keep holding in your portfolio, but I wouldn't be a new buyer.
Paul, are we going to hot or not? Is there anything else that you want
Look,
to add?
there are a couple of very key markets where they are battling. Russia just introduced smoking bans in public places. Big change for them. Spain, similar. You know, in Spain you used to be able to smoke wherever you liked because it was part of the sort of national culture. In Egypt and in Nigeria, you alluded to earlier, the problem isn't so much with regulatory intervention, it's smuggling. So in other words, the minute the government moves to either put any excise taxes, then there's a whole lot of leaky ports, and so the cigarettes get smuggled in from all over the show. So for all of these reasons, I think British American Tobacco is going to battle earnings-wise, but currently anyway, that's not visible.
Currently it's been proving you wrong over and over
Exactly.
and over
So
again.
until such time as there's a decisive break in the earnings, there's no money to be made on the short side in this one.
Hot or not?
Not hot.
Rob, hot or not?
I'm not hot.